Daddy, why don't my legs work like yours? Dr. Nathan Cole froze. His coffee cup stopped halfway to his lips. The question hung in the air of room 214 like smoke that wouldn't clear. His son, Ethan, sat in a hospital bed, his small hands resting on legs that had never carried him anywhere. 3 years old, bright blue eyes, a smile that could light up the darkest room, and a body that doctors said would never walk. Nathan was a surgeon, one of the best. He fixed hearts and saved lives. Children left his operating room running and jumping and dancing, but his own son, his own beautiful boy, he couldn't fix Ethan. Your legs are just learning, buddy, Nathan finally said. The lie tasted bitter on his tongue. They're taking their time. Ethan nodded, but something in his eyes said he knew the truth. Kids always know more than adults think they do. Room 214 had become Ethan's whole world. White walls, a window that showed the parking lot below, a television that played cartoons all day, machines that beeped and hummed, a bed with rails to keep him safe. Safe from what? Nathan sometimes wondered. Safe from falling when you've never stood? The room smelled like cleaning products and sadness. Other kids in the hospital came and went. Ethan stayed, week after week, month after month, his little body growing, but his legs staying still and quiet. Nathan knew every inch of that room. He'd counted the ceiling tiles. 144. He'd memorized the pattern on the curtains. Blue and white stripes. He'd stared at the medical charts until the words blurred together. Patient shows no signs of motor function in lower extremities. Prognosis, unlikely to achieve independent mobility. Recommend long-term assistive care. Words that felt like stones. Heavy, cold, crushing. But Ethan's mother, Sarah, refused to let those stones bury their hope. She brought toys. She sang songs. She read stories about dragons and superheroes and kids who did impossible things. Maybe one day you'll fly, she whispered to Ethan every night before she left. Maybe you'll soar so high that walking won't even matter. Nathan wanted to tell her to stop. Stop filling their son's head with dreams that would never come true. Stop making it harder when reality finally came crashing down. But he never said it, because deep down, he needed her hope too, even if he didn't believe it anymore. That's when Zara arrived. She walked into room 214 on a Tuesday morning, carrying a tray of breakfast and wearing purple scrubs decorated with tiny stars. Her hair was pulled back in a neat bun, and her smile was the kind that made you feel like everything might actually be okay. "Good morning, Ethan," she said, her voice warm and musical. "I'm Nurse Zara, and I'm going to be taking care of you from now on." Ethan looked up from his coloring book. "Hi. What are you drawing?" Zara set the tray down and leaned over to see. "A rocket ship," Ethan said. "It's going to the moon." "That's amazing. I love rocket ships. Did you know that astronauts have to train really hard before they can fly?" Ethan shook his head. "It's true. They practice every single day. They start small, and then they get stronger and stronger, until one day, whoosh, up to go into space." Nathan watched from his chair by the window. He'd seen dozens of nurses come through this room. Most were kind, professional, efficient. They did their jobs well. But something about Zara was different. She didn't look at Ethan with pity. She didn't use that soft, sad voice that people use around sick kids. She talked to him like he was just a regular boy, like his wheelchair in the corner didn't define everything about him. Over the next few days, Nathan noticed more. Zara spent extra time in room 214. She wasn't supposed to. Nurses had schedules, rounds, other patients. But she always found reasons to come back. To check Ethan's temperature again. To adjust his pillow. To ask about his drawings. And she watched. Nathan was a doctor. He knew how to observe. But Zara? She saw things he missed. She saw how Ethan's eyes followed the other kids when they walked past his door. How his hands gripped the bed rails when he tried to shift his weight. How his whole face changed during playtime. Brighter, more alive, like a part of him woke up that stayed asleep the rest of the day. One afternoon, Zara brought in a red ball. Just a simple rubber ball. The kind you could buy at any toy store. "Want to play catch?" she asked Ethan. Okay. Ethan's face lit up. They tossed the ball back and forth. Ethan laughed every time he caught it. And then something happened. Zara threw the ball a little to the left. Ethan reached for it, stretching his whole body. His leg moved, just a tiny bit. A twitch, a flutter, but it moved. Nathan jumped out his chair. Did you see that? His leg, it moved. Zara smiled, calm as still water. I saw. But that's not possible. The doctor said a lot of things. Zara interrupted gently. But Ethan hasn't said what he can do yet. Have you, Ethan? Ethan shook his head, confused but grinning. Nathan felt something crack open inside his chest. Something that had been locked tight for 3 years. Hope? Fear? He couldn't tell anymore. What if we tried something? Zara said, kneeling beside Ethan's bed. She wasn't looking at Nathan. She was looking at Ethan like he was the most important person in the world. What if we played a special game? Just you and me? What kind of game? Ethan asked. A flying game. Ethan's eyes went wide. Really? Really? But we have to practice. Just like the astronauts. Think you can do that? Yes. Nathan wanted to stop this. To protect his son from disappointment. To explain that hope was dangerous when it couldn't come true. But Zara's eyes met his across the bed. And in them, he saw something he'd forgotten existed. Belief. Not the blind kind. Not the foolish kind. But the steady, quiet kind that said, I see something you don't. Trust me, just a little bit. Just enough to try. And for the first time in 3 years, Nathan didn't say no. Okay, he whispered. Let's see what happens. Zara's smile could have lit up the whole hospital. Tomorrow, she promised Ethan, we start flying. The next afternoon, Zara arrived with something Nathan had never seen in room 214 before. A yoga mat. What's that for? Nathan asked, confused. Zara winked at Ethan. Flying equipment. Every pilot needs a runway, right? Ethan giggled. He'd been bouncing with excitement all morning, asking every 5 minutes when Nurse Zara would come back. Zara spread the mat on the floor beside Ethan's bed. Then she sat down and patted the space in front of her. Okay, Captain Ethan. Ready for flight training? Yes. Ethan practically vibrated with joy. I'm going to lift you down here, okay? Nice and easy. Nathan's heart hammered. He wanted to say no. To stop this. What if Ethan got hurt? What if this crazy idea failed and broke his son's spirit completely? But he stayed quiet, watching, hoping, afraid. Zara lifted Ethan like he weighed nothing at all. She was strong. Years of lifting patience had made her arms solid and sure. She settled Ethan on the mat, his little legs stretched out in front of him. Now, Zara said, lying on her back, here's how we fly. I'm going to put my feet against your tummy, and then I'm going to lift you up. You're going to soar like a rocket ship. Sound good? Will I fall? Ethan's voice got smaller. Never. I've got you. I promise. Do you trust me? Ethan thought about it. Then he nodded. I trust you. Those 3 words made Nathan's throat tight. Zara positioned her feet against Ethan's stomach. Slowly, so slowly, she straightened her legs. Ethan rose into the air, his arms spreading out like wings. I'm flying. Ethan shrieked. Daddy, look. I'm flying. Nathan couldn't speak. He could only watch his son hovering above the yoga mat, balanced on Zara's feet, laughing so hard that tears streamed down his face. Now, Zara said calmly, push your legs down a little bit. Press against my feet. Let's see how strong you are. Ethan pushed, his face scrunched up with effort. That's it. You're doing it. Feel those muscles working? Those are your flying muscles. They're working. Ethan gasped. They're really working. Nathan dropped into his chair. His hands were shaking. Zara lowered Ethan gently back down, then sat him up. How do you feel, Captain? Amazing. Ethan beamed. Can we do it again? Tomorrow. Your muscles need to rest now. But tomorrow we'll fly even higher. After Zara settled Ethan back into bed, Nathan followed her into the hallway. His voice came out rough, broken. What are you doing? Zara turned to face him. Her expression was patient. Kind, but firm. I'm helping your son. The doctor said he'd never walk. His condition. I know what the doctor said. I read his charts. But I also watched him, Dr. Cole. Really watched him. His muscles aren't dead. They're sleeping. They just need a reason to wake up. And you think playing pretend airplane is going to fix 3 years of... I don't think pretend anything is going to fix him. Zara's voice stayed gentle, but her eyes flashed. Because he's not broken. He's strong. Stronger than anyone sees. We're just disguising the work as play. He doesn't think about what he can't do. He just moves. And moving? That's everything. Nathan leaned against the wall. His whole body felt heavy. What if it doesn't work? What if we give him hope and then... What if it does work? Zara countered. What if we give him hope and he flies? Nathan had no answer for that. The flying game became a daily ritual. Every afternoon at 2 o'clock, Zara arrived. The yoga mat came out, and Ethan soared. Each day, Zara made tiny changes. She had Ethan hold the position longer. She asked him to push harder against her feet. She taught him to balance, to engage muscles that had forgotten how to work. And Ethan never complained, never cried, never said it was too hard. Because to him, it wasn't therapy. It was flying. Sarah started staying for the sessions. She'd sit beside Nathan, holding his hand, both of them watching their son laugh and kick and grow stronger before their eyes. His legs are different, Sarah whispered one day. Look, they have more shape, more muscle. She was right. Nathan could see it too. Ethan's legs weren't as thin as they'd been. The constant movement, the daily flights, were building something real, but not everyone was happy about it. Dr. Morrison, the head of pediatrics, stopped Nathan in the cafeteria one morning. I hear your son is doing some kind of unconventional therapy. Nathan stiffened. He's playing with his nurse. Playing. Dr. Morrison's eyebrows rose. Nathan, I understand you're desperate. Any parent would be. But false hope is cruel. The boy's condition is permanent. You know this. You're a surgeon. You understand spinal development and... I understand that my son is getting stronger, Nathan interrupted. His voice came out harder than he intended. I understand that he's happy. And I understand that sometimes doctors are wrong. Dr. Morrison's face went cold. We follow evidence-based medicine here, not fairy tales. Then maybe, Nathan said quietly, you should come see the evidence. But Dr. Morrison didn't come. None of the other doctors did. They were too busy, too certain, too convinced that their charts and tests told the whole story. Only Zara believed differently. Week after week, the flying continued. And slowly, something else started happening. Ethan began asking questions. Zara, why do my legs feel tingly after we fly? That's your muscles waking up. They're saying hello. Do you think they could hold me up? Zara smiled. I think they're getting ready to try. Nathan heard that conversation. And that night, for the first time in years, he prayed. He didn't know who he was praying to. He'd lost his faith somewhere between medical school and watching his son suffer. But he prayed anyway. Please, please let this work. Please let my son walk. 1 month after the flying started, Zara changed the game. Today, she announced, we're doing something new. Ethan's eyes sparkled with curiosity. What? Today, you're going to hold on to this bar. Zara pointed to a small stability bar she brought in. And I'm going to help you stand. The room went silent. Nathan's heart stopped beating. Stand. Ethan whispered. Stand. Just for a second. Just to see what it feels like. Your muscles are so strong now, Captain. I think they're ready. What if I fall? Then I catch you. Every single time. I promise, remember? Ethan looked at his father. Nathan could see the fear in his son's eyes. But he could see something else too. Hope. You can do this, buddy, Nathan said, his voice cracking. I believe in you. Zara lifted Ethan and positioned him in front of the bar, his small hands wrapped around it, knuckles white with grip. Okay, Zara said, supporting him from behind. I'm going to let go a little bit. Your legs know what to do. Trust them. She released him, just slightly. Ethan's legs trembled, shook, wobbled like newborn deer. But they held. For 3 seconds, Ethan stood on his own 2 feet. Then his legs gave out, and Zara caught him instantly, pulling him into a hug. "You did it," she laughed. "You stood. Did you feel it?" Ethan was crying, happy tears streaming down his face. "I felt it. I stood. Daddy, did you see?" Nathan couldn't answer. He was crying too. Sarah rushed forward, wrapping both Ethan and Zara in her arms. In that moment, room 214 didn't feel like a prison anymore. It felt like the beginning of something impossible, something wonderful, something real. 3 months after the first flight, something woke Nathan up early. He opened his eyes in the dim hospital room. Dawn light crept through the curtains. Sarah slept in the chair beside him, her head tilted at an uncomfortable angle. And then he heard it again, a small grunt, the sound of effort. Nathan sat up quickly. His eyes found Ethan's bed. Empty. Panic shot through him like lightning. "Ethan?" "Down here, Daddy." Nathan looked down. His heart nearly exploded. Ethan was on the floor, on his hands and knees, crawling toward the bathroom. "Ethan, what are you? Let me help you." "No." Ethan's voice was determined, strong. "I can do it myself. Zara said I'm getting strong enough to try new things." Nathan watched frozen as his son crawled 3 feet across the floor. Slow, shaky, but moving. Actually moving on his own. Sarah woke up. She gasped, "Nathan, is he?" "He's crawling," Nathan whispered. "Our son is crawling." They didn't help. They just watched. And when Ethan reached the bathroom door, he looked back at them with the biggest smile they'd ever seen. "I did it." That morning, when Zara arrived, Ethan couldn't stop talking about his crawling adventure. "I went all by myself. My arms got tired, but my legs helped push." Zara knelt down and gave him a high five. "Captain Ethan, that's amazing. Do you know what this means?" "What?" "It means you're ready for the next level of flight training." Ethan's eyes went huge. "Really? Really? Today, we're going to try something incredible." She looked at Nathan and Sarah. Her expression was serious, hopeful, a little bit scared. "Today," she said softly, "I think Ethan might walk." The world seemed to stop spinning. "Walk?" Sarah's voice broke. "You really think?" "I think his muscles are ready. I think his mind is ready. And I think if we believe in him, he'll believe in himself." Nathan felt tears building behind his eyes. "What do you need us to do?" "Just be ready to catch him." Zara set up the stability bar in the middle of the room. Then she brought out something new, a small walker, the kind little kids use when they were first learning. "This is your spatial control panel," Zara told Ethan. "You're going to hold on to it, and it's going to help you balance while you fly." Ethan touched the walker with wonder. "It's perfect." Zara lifted him up and positioned him behind the walker. His hands gripped the handles. His legs trembled beneath him, but they held his weight. "Okay, Captain, I'm right behind you. I won't let you fall. Your daddy is right in front of you. Do you see him?" Nathan positioned himself 6 feet away. He knelt down, arms open wide. "I see him," Ethan said. His voice was small but brave. "I want you to think about all our flying sessions. Remember how strong your legs got? Remember how they learned to push and hold and balance. I remember. Those same legs are going to carry you to your daddy. 1 step. That's all. Just 1 step. Can you try?" Ethan's whole body was shaking. Fear and excitement and hope all mixed together. "What if I can't?" "Then we try again tomorrow. And the next day. And the day after that. We keep trying until we fly. But Ethan," Zara's voice was gentle, "I think today is your day." Ethan took a deep breath. A big, brave, 3-year-old breath. And then he moved his right foot forward. 1 inch. 2 inches. 6 inches. His left foot followed. Dragging. Wobbling. But moving. "That's it." Zara cried. "You're doing it. Keep going. I'm walking." Ethan's voice was filled with shock and joy. "Daddy, I'm walking." Nathan couldn't see clearly anymore. Tears blurred everything. But he could see his son. moving toward him, step by impossible step. Come on, buddy. You've got this. Come to Daddy. Ethan took another step, and another. The walker supported him, but his legs, those legs that doctors said would never work, were carrying his weight. 4 steps, 5 steps, 6, and then Ethan let go of the walker for one heart-stopping moment. He stood completely on his own, swaying, balancing, defying everything anyone had ever said about him. Then he fell forward, into Nathan's arms. Father and son collapsed on the floor together, holding each other, crying and laughing at the same time. You did it, Nathan sobbed. You walked. You actually walked. I flew, Daddy. Did you see? I flew. Sarah rushed over, wrapping both of them in her arms. The 3 of them sat on the floor of room 214, crying happy tears that washed away 3 years of sadness. Zara stood back, watching, silent tears streaming down her own face. She hadn't done anything impossible. She just believed when everyone else had stopped believing. She'd seen strength where others saw weakness. She'd turned therapy into play and play into miracles. Over the next weeks, Ethan walked more and more, at first with a walker, then holding someone's hand, then finally on his own. His steps were wobbly, unsteady, not perfect, but they were his. Dr. Morrison came to see for himself. He stood in the doorway of room 214, watching Ethan take 5 steps across the room, and he had no words, no explanations, no charts that could explain what he was seeing. Sometimes, miracles don't need explanations. On Ethan's last day in room 214, Nathan found Zara in the hallway. How can I ever thank you, he asked. You gave us our son back. You gave him a future. Zara smiled. I didn't give you anything, Dr. Cole. Ethan always had everything he needed inside him. He just needed someone to believe it was there. And he needed permission to try. You changed our lives. No, Zara said softly. I just reminded you that love is stronger than any diagnosis, and that sometimes the impossible is just a difficult waiting for someone brave enough to attempt it. Nathan pulled her into a hug. Thank you for everything. Take care of him. Keep him flying. Every single day. 3 years later, Nathan stood in his backyard, watching Ethan run across the grass. Really run. His legs pumping, his arms swinging, his laughter filling the air. Other kids from the neighborhood chased him. They were playing tag. Just normal kids doing normal kid things. But there was nothing normal about what Nathan felt watching his son. Gratitude, wonder, joy so big it hurt. Ethan had learned to fly in room 214. And then he'd learned to walk. And then to run. And now, he was soaring in ways Nathan had never imagined possible. Sarah came outside and stood beside him, sliding her hand into his. Remember when we thought we'd never see this, she whispered. Every day, Nathan said. I remember every single day. And I'm grateful every single day. Should we call Zara? Invite her to Ethan's birthday party. Already did. She said she wouldn't miss it. Ethan ran up to them, panting and grinning. Daddy, watch this. He did a cartwheel. A messy, imperfect, beautiful cartwheel. Did you see? I'm still flying. Nathan scooped his son up and spun him around. You never stopped, buddy. You never stopped flying. That night, after Ethan fell asleep, Nathan sat at his computer. He thought about all the families out there who felt hopeless, who'd been told never and believed it. He thought about Zara's steady belief and patient love. And he thought about his son, who proved that impossible is just another word for not yet. So he started typing, sharing Ethan's story, sharing the lesson he'd learned the hard way. Never stop believing, never stop trying, never stop flying. Because miracles don't always come from operating rooms and fancy medical equipment. Sometimes they come from a nurse with kind eyes, a yoga mat, and the courage to say, let's try. And sometimes that's enough to change everything. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to remember that impossible is just another word for not yet. And subscribe so you never miss another story about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. because we all need reminders that miracles are real. And sometimes they start with a simple choice to believe.